One job. Okay. Yeah. Keys to get to a phone, right? Or Noel or something. No, Chagor. Yeah. By the bird. By the bird. Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's rolling? Oh, we're live. Okay, we're live. Okay, cool. Great. Okay. Awesome.
I'm gonna stand here the whole time, and I'm going to hold these questions because I think it's not 8:30 yet. I'm wondering if the flood of viewers are going to log in at 8:30.
So
Similarly,
right.
to students, when class starts at 8:30, they show up at 8:29.
Right. And they're still technically on time.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. If you ask my wife, she will tell you if my flight is at 8:30, I'm checking in the day before. I'm that anxious.
That sounds about right.
So she had to get used to that. Even if it's neighbor island trips, I would check in like 5 days early.
Right.
I'd be sleeping at the airport because I don't want to miss my flight.
See, that was me when I used to live in Eva Beach. Like, even though we come here, or work starts at 8:00, I'm in my car at 5:30, because this is in a time when Eva Beach did not have the 2 lanes, multiple lanes and whatnot. So I'd get here and I'd sleep. Yeah,
that's like Honolulu issues.
Yeah, Honolulu issues, right?
Yeah. Which will segue into our application.
Application issues. Speaking of issues, have you heard about the Warriors basketball team?
Yeah. Actually, no.
No,
and
see,
it's because they haven't made the news lately.
Right. It's because I think they haven't made the playoffs.
That's right.
That's right. They haven't made the playoffs.
Right.
Okay. You get all these thumbs down from these Warrior fans.
Yeah, I think they're gonna start canceling.
Yeah.
Like I have maybe on my work YouTube, I have a whopping 19 subscribers.
There you go.
We might be down to one, which is probably me.
Oh, you. Yeah. Noel used to be a subscriber. After the Warriors comment, probably it's done. We are done.
Yeah, so we are working out the kinks before it's officially 8:30 and all 19 viewers are watching.
Okay. Oh wow! Just. Oh whoa!
Should we? Without.
Oh man.
Yeah, no. So maybe move the mic. Okay. Wait, we got to be careful with the cord though.
Yeah.
Or the blue cord.
Can we turn it this way? Yeah. How about turn the box facing us? That gives us a little bit more.
Okay.
So now we're going to be squinting during the.
I think it should be all right.
Yeah.
How does Alfie he's still kind of in the shade? Is he all right?
A little better. Okay. So I'm sorry. So based on Lisa's comment, I should use more sunscreen, basically. I'm still dark.
Hang on.
Yep. Okay. Better? Oof. So I only can last maybe 5 minutes before the sweat beads start coming down. So heads up.
Is it better?
Okay. No, yeah, we need light, so we need you to angle. Start building up that, get that sheen going.
I'm gonna step away for a while. I'm gonna check how the feed's going.
Sure,
So stay right there.
Yeah, I'm here. How many of y'all live in a beach? Woo! Yeah. Okay. All right. All three of you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, sweet. Okay. So apologies, everyone. We are currently working out the kinks. This is our first ever YouTube live. Two people. We got 2 people watching. So 3 people. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. 2. We lost the subscriber. They don't like the way the light reflects off my face, and that's totally fine. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, we're losing feed. Okay. So thank you to those 3. That was God, we're good. All right. Back up to 2.
All right, here we go with our first test run of YouTube Live.
Yes.
To be totally transparent, I was worried about this perhaps all day yesterday, and I think I might have dreamt about it.
You sure you're still not dreaming about it?
I know.
Sheldon?
Alfie, you're always in my dreams.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
that Debbie Gibson song.
It could be. Could be.
Yeah, anyway.
Well, it's also Alfie. What's it all about? That's the thing, too. But we won't get into it. We're showing our age with that. By the way, so
Yeah. Debbie Gibson, big 80s pop star. Anyway.
Dionne Warwick. What's it all about?
Oh,
No?
boy.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
So I'm Sheldon.
And I'm Alfie. And this is a little different.
This is a little different.
You know, we're used to, being in a podcast type
Yes,
of forum. and
Kuile
setting.
Courageous Conversations, by
Check
the way.
it out. Thank you. 1,500 downloads. Awesome.
2,000 downloads.
2,000 downloads, right?
Yes.
So yeah, this is totally different.
And so thank you for joining us. And for those who are watching the playback, welcome to Kapi Olani Community College. This is a non-biased statement, but I really feel this is probably the most beautiful campus in the state. But non-biased, of course.
Non-biased.
Not that I
It's not.
went to Kapi Olani or
Oh,
anything.
I noticed that. That was a nice
Yeah.
shirt, by the way. Yeah.
Not that I work here or anything, but I still feel.
Wait, you
like-
work here too?
Yes.
Oh my
it's
goodness,
just-
that's crazy. Wow. Okay,
So
what a
non-biased
coincidence.
statement. Anyway.
Okay, anyways, here we go.
So today we're going to talk about the.
Where are we?
Oh, we are in front of the Ohia building. That's our cafeteria. Ilima building, which houses our leadership as well as counseling, admissions records, and financial aid. We also have our science building, Kokio, but directly in back of us, the Great Lawn.
The Great Lawn.
The Great Lawn.
And
Oh,
you can see Diamond
and
Head.
you can see Leahi, which
Leahi
is
and
amazing.
Diamond Head,
And
yes.
so if you ever wanted to find where KCC is located, just look for Leahi or look for the Diamond Head crater, and more than likely you have found Kapi Olani Community College. And so again, best college in the whole wide world. Actually, behind the camera is our library. So when you do visit our campus, just know
Whip it around.
just know that between Alfie and myself, we'll be happy to show you folks around.
Definitely.
We are also in charge of campus tours. But today we're going to talk about the application.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, Alfie,
Yes. How can I help you?
where can students find the KCC application?
That's actually a great question, Sheldon. We have go.kapiolani.hawaii.edu. That's one way you can find the application. Also, once you go to that website, go ahead and click apply now, and that'll take you to the KCC application. Another way you can get there is through apply.hawaii.edu.
Okay.
Most important thing, if you go with that route, is to make sure KCC, Kapi Olani Community College, is picked. So the two KCCs, think about that: Kauai Community College, Kapi Olani Community College. Common error we've seen, you know, with the applications.
And another common issue that we found was students would select the first campus that's on top, which is Hawaii Community College. And so when you look at the UH map, there is a Hawaii Community College, but that's on the Big Island. And so just, like you said, make sure your students in Kapi Olani Community College for their application. So when students are about to start filling out the application, what should they have in front of them? Like, what kind of information should they have to make it a somewhat easy process?
Well, the first thing that you would need is an alternative type of email that they check regularly. That's a tough word to say.
It's 8:45 in the morning.
It's 8:45 in the morning. But an email, like, for example, if you're coming straight out of high school, we would highly advise using your high school email, because we're not sure when they kind of deactivate that. So something you check every day. So that's the first thing that you would need. Also, make sure you know where your address is, because those are things that's really important.
Zip codes
is very important, because that we use that to determine residency and whatnot. Because technically the application is free, and the most important part is how you fill out that residency portion on the application that determines if you're paying that $25 fee or not. But so yeah, your address, your zip code, another type of email that you check all the time, as well as additional documentation. For example, if you know that your parents voted this past election, utility bills that kind of show information, for your for where you're currently living. Those are important factors that help us to determine if there's residency. Anything else that I might be missing, Sheldon?
Actually, yes. And so if you were, say, not born and raised in Hawaii, but moved to Hawaii some time ago, it's kind of good to have a ballpark idea on month, day, and year that your family moved to Hawaii. So good to have that information on hand. Okay, great. And then again, these are all information we use to determine your residency status. Because again, like Alfie was sharing, it's a big difference between a zero application fee versus $25.
Right.
Next, let's see. There's a part in the application that asks about their degree goal. And so it's a yes or no question. So what should they pick?
I believe they pick no.
Yes.
The reason why you pick no is that basically determines the college application part. I believe if you pick yes, and this is another part where a lot of people kind of stumble upon, especially if you're in early college or dual credit. If you pick yes, your options in terms of your degree attainment is very limited. It's just going to be like early admit.
Yes.
So yeah, make sure you pick no for that part.
Yeah, it seems strange, but yes, in the degree goal question, you want to select no, and that'll open up a whole bunch of options, a lot of options. So speaking of which, when you get to the academic program portion of the application, how should students filter that down?
There's different ways in which you can do it. One way you can do it is on the search bar at the very top, you can actually type in the program that you're looking for. You can also maybe even type in the college, Kapi Olani Community College. But for me, what we've experienced would probably be the easiest way is if there's this filter button that you push, click Kapi Olani Community College, and then from there it opens up all the programs that are within Kapi Olani Community College. You don't have to worry about the other colleges as well. Yeah.
And what I've noticed is the programs do load up slowly, so just practice a little bit of patience to search for the program that you're looking for. And just another tip, program equals degree. And so if you're thinking about what degree I want to pursue, just know that we use the word programs on this application. So it's one and the same.
Right, one and the same. And another thing that we've noticed with this application is there are times if you try to do the filter and nothing pops up, by all means, the cool thing about the application, it's a smart application. It saves all your status, your updates, and your information. So if you see it not, like your degrees or programs are not filtering out, by all means, simply log out, log back in again. So that's another tip.
Yeah.
Remember your password and information.
Yes,
that's really important. All right.
Yes.
So again, if you don't see anything populating, by all means, log out, log back in.
Yep. Let's see now. In the application, there's these four
Mhm.
quadrants,
Yes.
right? How do students know, or prospective students, how do they know their application is complete? What should they look for in those four quadrants?
That's a great question, Sheldon. So yes, there's four quadrants. So within each quadrant, there's, I guess you could say, little check marks that you need to kind of fill out. So once you're finished with one quadrant, everything's going to turn green.
Mm.
Okay, so look for that green, look that green color. If you're colorblind, find someone in there to help you find if that's identify if that's a green thing.
That's a great point. I think another way to see if your section is complete, it'll say 6 out of 6 sections completed
Mhm.
or 2 out of 2 sections completed. Yeah, very important,
Mhm.
when
Very
to,
important.
before you proceed to make sure all those sections are completed.
Yes. So once you get all those quadrants completed, they're green. They're going to say 7 out of 7, 2 out of 2, 3 out of 3, whatever it may
Yeah.
be. Then you click submit. And here's the part that some people kind of they stumble upon, or
Yes.
they think they're done.
Yes.
They click submit and they think they're okay, I'm done. Technically, no. You have to click submit 2 more times, I
Yeah.
believe. So after the initial submit, click it again. And you should get this notification screen that says, congratulations, you have successfully completed your application. And to kind of double check to make sure your application's in. Remember, I talked about that email in the very beginning? Check that email, because you'll get a notification email that tells you you have successfully completed your application. And that's when you know that you are done with the application.
Yeah. So actually, there's 2 emails, and that this is another hiccup. So students will see one email saying you have successfully activated your account or something to that effect. The one, like you shared, the one you folks need to look for, students need to look for, is the one that says you have successfully completed the application. And so Alfie and I get a lot of emails from folks saying, I've submitted my application, I haven't heard from the campus.
Yeah.
And more times than any, it's because they haven't submitted the application. And so very important. Any other insights or tips?
As I mentioned, that this is a smart application. It saves all your progress. So if you're filling out the application, you forget things. You might forget maybe a telephone number. You forget your address or even social security number.
Yep.
That's a common thing we hear
Yep.
with the students is, I don't remember it. I have to check with my parents. By all means, like I said, log out, log back in when you're ready to input all that information, and then you should kind of be good to go. Those are little tips and strategies. Also, if you're, for example, if you're for sure claiming residency and you still see that $25 application fee, double check how you answered that residency portion. Another thing too is make sure you contact Sheldon or myself and just kind of give us a heads up, like, okay, we think we filled it out properly, but we're still getting that $25 fee. What happens now? What are some steps we need to take?
KAPCOUN at hawaii.edu. KAPCOUN at hawaii.edu. I think our response rate is within 6 hours.
Yes.
And so if you have questions, like Alfie shared, about the app, by all means, please log out, email us. Let's have a conversation. Let's figure stuff out. We can meet over Zoom, so that way we can follow you in lockstep and making sure you've submitted it. Is what if I applied, but I put down the wrong major? Not a big deal at all. And so we can help with that too. So I think as long as you get your application in, there's so many things we can do to assist you. Again, changing majors, figuring out like the placement test process, a whole bunch of stuff. Because again, once we have your name in our system, we can help you out with all types of things.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh,
we have a question. Whatever email. Okay, so the question that was posted in the chat was, what email should I use to communicate my concerns, or if I have any questions? Use whatever email address you use for the application. We will respond to that. Again, so the question is, again, what email should I use at the onset of the application process? Again, whatever email address you use regularly, we can start off with that. Just to kind of fast forward, what typically happens after formally accepted is that you'll be prompted to create a UH email address.
yes.
So we want then students to get used to using that email account. It takes a while for students to get accustomed to that new product, but however you communicate with us, we'll go with whatever. But once you activate your UH email account, we're going to encourage you to use that as good practice.
Right. Make it a habit to use that.
Make it a habit to use that. That's an excellent question. Not a lot of folks, even that, I would say even some of our continuing students still get, they're still not used to checking their Hawaii.edu email address.
Right.
But that is an excellent question. We actually have our Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs and our Marketing Director in the back of the camera feeding us questions as they come in.
Also making faces at us.
They are making faces at us, but that's every day.
That's every day.
I think they keep telling themselves, why did we hire these two guys? They're scratching their heads. Before we wait on other questions, what is fall going to look like? Is it going to be in person, face to face?
That is a great question. My understanding is majority of stuff will still be online. We do have some classes that will be either the hybrid model. I know the labs, for example, will be face to face. So what's really important is if you check our kapiolani.hawaii.edu website, look at the schedule of classes. From there, the schedule of classes will tell you what type of classes you'll be signing up for or registering for. And they'll tell you it's going to be online, synchronous, asynchronous, hybrid, face-to-face, whatever it may be. So check the schedule of classes at the Kapiolani website.
However, students can still use our facilities, like the library.
That's true.
I believe they can use our beautiful cafeteria that you see behind us. And so you're free to come on our campus. Just make sure we have this thing called the Lumi site. Just make sure you just kind of check in. It takes all of like 10 seconds to complete, and you're free to visit this. So when a class is asynchronous, what are the
question? Asynchronous basically means you go to a site. In most cases, in all likelihood, it'll be like, but you're kind of on your own in a sense. There's real no assigned meeting times, meeting dates. Like I said, this site Laulima, pay attention to that. That's I hate to say learn as you go, but it's kind of along that realm. They'll be posting assignments every single week. It's your responsibility to go through those assignments, those lessons, identify what test quizzes that you have to partake in and submit. So asynchronous, kind of a lot of degree of responsibility for that one. But a lot of students like it, so it really depends on your learning styles, what you're comfortable with.
It's a question that comes up a lot through email is, I signed up for my classes for fall 2021. My room location says TBA. When will that change? It's like, well, we just refer students to the comments underneath the class to make them understand that the class is asynchronous, that is completely online. Any questions from?
Nope.
Okay. And I think, let's see. Yes. And so our team behind the camera is reminding us, you all know, for those who are here at our test run, YouTube Live, thank you again, that we plan on having a series of YouTube Live. So next week, what we're going to try to do is one on the first year experience, what students can expect when fall 2021 starts on August 23rd. So we're going to talk to folks from our FYE team, hopefully.
Yes.
And during the semester, what are we going to try to do?
Well, we're getting these requests left and right, like, hey, we want to be on campus. Can we do campus tours? Unfortunately, we cannot bring you on campus due to the measures that we currently have in place. Hence, hey, here we are on YouTube Live. So what we're going to try to do is a series of YouTube Live workshops. There, ask whatever questions like we've had today, regarding the topic.
Thank you for
asking those questions. But again, that YouTube Live series will be featuring different programs that you might, be interested in. So, for example, anything from maybe culinary to anything within the health sciences, that's your opportunity to kind of get to know a little bit about the program and to ask questions, whatever questions you may have about maybe getting into the program or expectations about the program. So please stay tuned, subscribe to the channel. We're excited. We're excited. This is something different, but we're excited.
So the hope is, 'cause right now the YouTube live is through my work YouTube, but we're gonna try to merge it over to Kapi Olani. And so if you are YouTube subscribers, make sure you search Kapi Olani, and that is our official KCC YouTube page. There's a ton of wonderful resources on that page. To this day, where we're highlighting EMT, MLT, respiratory care. Yeah. Soon we're going to add other programs. It's just a wonderful resource for those who want to get kind of a virtual snapshot of this beautiful, beautiful campus. Anything else before we close this out?
No. Anything else from our vice chancellor back here and our marketing person again with the facial expressions?
Thank you so much for joining us today. For those live, good morning, and thank you. For those who will be maybe watching the playback, thanks again for watching the playback. We appreciate you folks logging in. Again, any questions about anything that has to do with the Kapi Olani journey, KAPCOUN@hawaii.edu. Again, that's KAPCOUN@hawaii.edu. We respond quickly because we want to make sure you have the tools to make your next steps. And we just want to answer every and all questions that you may have, maybe address maybe some anxieties about starting at Kapi Olani, because this is such a wonderful place to start your academic journey, whatever it may be. Our short-term certificates, our non-credit programs, our associate's degrees, our transfer opportunities, the list goes on. And so whatever plans you have for yourself, whatever dreams you may have, talk to us and we'll walk you through the whole process. But thanks again, and we will see you next time. Make sure you stay tuned. I think we're going to try to shoot for next week for our next YouTube live, but just stay tuned. We'll post those dates. Follow us on Instagram, Kapi Olani as well. That again, wealth of information. So again, on IG, Kapi Olani for every and all updates. But thank you very much, and we'll see you on our campus real soon.